Welcome to your Thrive Era podcast, a show for high achieving women who are done with burnout and ready to reclaim their time, energy, and joy. I'm Shaina Logan, mom, wife, coach, and entrepreneur for over a decade. I know what it's like to juggle it all and still feel like it's never enough. But everything changed once I developed my set protocol. A simple yet sustainable way to take back myself, my energy, and my time. If you're ready to break free from burnout and finally thrive, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Welcome back to your Thrive Era. I'm Shaina Logan, coach, wife, mom, and the creator of the Whole Woman Reset. See, I love helping high achieving women escape burnout by reclaiming their time, reclaiming their energy, and getting to know themselves again and getting back to all the things that they love. And we do this without having them burn down their life or having to escape to Bali for some eat, pray, love vacation. And in today's episode, well, it's for the woman who always gets it done, but oftentimes she feels like she's fallen apart inside because she's just so worn out or spread thin. See, we are talking about the very first boundary that every entrepreneur mom needs to have to protect her energy and her peace. And it's one simple phrase, it's one simple boundary that will totally realign how you look at yourself and how you look at other people. And that phrase is, I'm allowed to be a human before I'm a helper. I'm going to say it one more time because I think it's really impactful. I'm allowed to be a human before I'm a helper, right? Sometimes we lose track of the fact that we too are human with all the kind of human needs that come with that. So if you wake up with your to-do list running through your head, or if you oftentimes fall asleep wondering at the end of the day, did you miss something? Did you lose track of it? Are you going to be late again, etc.? This episode, it's going to be your reset button. So let's get right into it, shall we? I want to get brutally honest for 1 second, okay? And when I'm speaking to you, my audience, my fellow high achieving entrepreneurs, the ones that are managing it all, remember, I'm also speaking to myself because I've lived this and I still live this. And I constantly have to reevaluate where I am and if I allowed old habits to kind of come back into the flow. So you manage the calendar, the clients, the meals, your team, the dentist appointments. You keep the whole machine running, right? And most days, you tend to do it with a smile because that's what you do. That's who you are. You show up, you hold it down for everyone. But here's what I know about most women like us. Behind that capable smile, behind that, oh, I'm great. Oftentimes, your gas tank is just running on empty. And it's not like just tired, it's like soul tired. Like if I could book a hotel room for myself for the whole weekend alone, I would. Because what's happened somewhere along the way is that being needed has become part of your identity. And again, I can only speak to this because I lived it myself. And that being seen as strong has become more important to you than feeling supported. And again, I only know this because I've walked it out more times than I would care to admit. What I had to learn the hard way is that that's not actually leadership. That's quiet self-abandonment. And that's saying I'm not valued enough to show up and first before I decide to take care of everyone else. We forget that we're human, right? We forget we're human before we're supposed to be helpful. And you're not the coach, you're not the mom, you're not the glue, you're just you. And see what happens when identity becomes about nothing besides responsibility. Well, burnout, it's not a risk, it is a guaranteed result instead. So let's talk about this boundary. I'm allowed to be human before I'm a helper. Well, that means that you get to have needs. You don't have to earn your rest, right? You don't have to apologize for being depleted or tired or, God forbid, pausing to eat your food and not having to eat it on the run constantly. When I truly grasped this and internalized it, it flipped everything for me. See, it changed how I parented, it changed how I led my staff, it changed how I loved my husband. Because if we don't honor our own humanity, our identity,
that's supposed to be the foundation of everything we do, well, then it just gets swallowed up by obligations. So let me take you back to a moment that cracked it open for me when it became all too painfully aware. Because as I just said multiple times so far today, I can only speak to what I've lived, right? And a few years ago, I was pouring into everyone, my clients, my family, my team, but I was skipping meals because I was too busy to eat, and I was actually too stressed, so like I didn't really want to eat. I was snapping at my husband, and I often found myself like laying in bed at night with those wheels just turning at all hours, even though I was exhausted. And one afternoon, I found myself just like crying, and and one afternoon, I just found myself crying for like no reason at all. I think I had gotten overtired and someone said something and it just became the hay that broke the camel's back, right? Not because something traumatic had happened, but because I was just empty and I had been there for too long. Because I had been the helper for everyone, but I wasn't allowing anyone else to help me. And that included myself. I definitely was not helping me. And so I decided I didn't want to be the strongest woman in the room. If that meant I also had this like bad badge of honor to be the most depleted one. Because what did that like pride matter if I was too exhausted to enjoy my life? So how do we live this boundary of I am a human before I'm a helper in our real day-to-day life? I'm going to give you three small, powerful ways to start reclaiming that humanity aspect of yourself right now. So, I'm going to challenge you when you wake up first thing in the morning just to take a few minutes. I'm talking 3 minutes. I just put something up on Instagram about this, about your 3 minute reset when you get up. This is before you pick up your phone and look at the text messages that have come in. It's before you check your email, but before you even make a cup of coffee, you just take 3 minutes. I call this a morning micro check-in. Before the phone, before Slack, before you have to everything for your family. And you just take 3 deep breaths and you check in on yourself. I like to put my hand on my heart and my hand on my belly as I do those breaths. I kind of hold them, and I ask myself, like, what do I need today? Emotionally, physically, spiritually, like, what do I need? Maybe I need to be quiet and not talk so much. My husband would probably really enjoy that, right? Maybe I don't need to be on more Zoom calls. That's something that I have found in life is Zoom has taken over my calendar and I could use with a little bit less of it. Or maybe you need someone just to check on you and you need someone to have your back, but they can't do that unless they know that you're having a hard time. So whatever it is, acknowledge it. Take a second and check in with yourself. Whatever it is, acknowledge it. Because what happens is when needs get ignored, they kind of multiply like bunny rabbits and they end up being coming breakdowns later on. So just take a few minutes before you start doing for everyone else. Remember that you too are human. Now, the second thing I want you to try is saying no. And no can be a complete sentence. You don't need to turn it into an entire novel. Instead, just start practicing clear and kind boundaries. You don't have to over explain yourself. You don't have to justify. You can simply say something like, thanks for thinking of me, but I don't have the bandwidth right now to take on that project. See, your peace, you holding on to your peace, you reclaiming your energy and your time, that's reason enough. You don't have to have a TED talk every time you tell someone no, right? Because you weren't made here just to serve other people. Yes, you have gifts and talents that only you have, but that's not at the cost of yourself. It's not the cost of forgetting who you are and what you need, and that you're human as well. So now those are the first two. I just have one more thing for you. Every week, you need to block off one non negotiable time slot that's just for you. It's completely protected. It's not for your business. It's not for your family. It's just for you. Okay. Protect it like it's a meeting or a doctor's appointment or, your big investors coming into town. Protect it like it's a doctor's appointment or it's a big meet. Protect it like it's a doctor's appointment or it's a meeting with the big investor that's coming into town because it is. It's your most important investor yourself. And even 1 hour can remind your nervous system that it's safe and that it's calm, that it can relax. So, funny story about this. You don't even want to know how much money I had in Lulu gift cards because since my daughter was born, I've bought or people have bought things for me and either they didn't fit or I didn't like them or X, Y, and Z, and I went to exchange them. But I've had my daughter with me, and who wants to shop in Lululemon with a toddler? No one, right? Because it's supposed to be an enjoyable experience. So I've just had them stack up. And last week I used my alone time to finally go do some shopping. And I went into Lulu by myself for 45 minutes and I put those gift cards to work, man. And I walked out with an entire new summer wardrobe that I'm so excited about. And something happened about halfway through that. I was in the changing room and I was like, this is awesome. And I'm not checking my clock. I'm not on that, like, oh, I have to rush, I have to hurry, go, 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 go. And I walked away with stuff that I'm excited to wear, that fits, that looks great. And I was like, this is me taking time to get back to myself. And as simple and as stupid as it may sound, it was really a highlight. And now every time I go to put on my new shorts or my new sports bra or whatever it might be, I get a little piece of that. So that's a reminder that I exist outside all of the roles that I have between motherhood, between business owner, between coach, between wife. I just went and took 45 minutes of myself. That was awesome. And now I have all these great, great clothes to wear. So here's why that this boundary isn't optional, okay? It's actually more of a survival tool because most women, we resist it because we think if I slow down, things will fall apart. Bills won't get paid on time, kids' lunches won't get packed, taxes will be late, X, Y, and Z will continue to happen. But here's the thing, if we keep going at the high output that we hold ourselves to over and over again, things will fall apart because you will slowly burn out. And when you hit rock bottom, you'll have nothing to give anyone, not only the people that you love the most, but also yourself. And when that happens, well, then things do fall apart. So you need to think about it as investing in your future when you take time to slow down now. Not just for your business, not just for your kids, not just for your spouse, but for that version of you that you have down deep in your heart that you want to grow into. You know, one of my mentors once said this a few months ago, and it's stuck with me ever since. The standards you walk past are the standards that you accept. So if you keep walking past your own exhaustion, if you keep walking past your own fatigue, if you keep walking past it's been 3 years since you had a hobby, what is that teaching your kids? What is that showing the people that you love what you think about yourself? You're accepting burnout as the standard. And that's not leadership. That's a loss. And this is exactly why in my coaching program, the Whole Woman Reset, we start with our vision and our values. Because once you know what actually matters, you stop trying to do everything that doesn't. You stop proving and you start protecting. And that is actually quite liberating and gives you energy back. So here's your next step because I always want these episodes to be practical for you so you have something to do. Go pick up your calendar, go pick up your phone, go look at the next week, and I want you to block off just 15 minutes. Just 15. It doesn't have to be substantial, just 15 that are just for you. Now that means no scrolling, no stress strategizing, no planning out next week's menu. Just 15 minutes to check in with yourself and maybe do something that you simply enjoy. You could ask yourself, what have I been tolerating? What do I need today or in this week? Where have I forgotten that I'm a human and I'm not just a superhero with a cape and spandex? Because you aren't a machine. You're a woman. You're a leader. You're a mom. You're a wife. You're a human. And you are allowed to be that first. So if this episode hit home, share it with someone. Share it with another woman that you feel like is possibly holding it all together and could really benefit from this message. Because I just want this to get out and help as many people as possible. Also, don't forget to grab my free masterclass, the High Achieving Woman's Escape Plan, where I show you the exact 3 steps my clients use to reclaim their time, their energy, and their peace without guilt and without chaos. The link's in the show notes. Make sure to grab it. And until next time, my friends, stay honest, stay anchored, and keep thriving. That's it for today's episode.
If this hit home for you, don't just let it be another thing you hear. Take action. And the best way to start? Download my free masterclass, The High Achieving Woman's Escape Plan. 3 steps to reclaim your time, energy, and self. In this exclusive session, I'll show you exactly how to save over 5 hours a week, stop burnout in its tracks, and live in alignment with the real you. Click the link in the show notes and grab it now. And if you love this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend who needs to hear this. Until next time, keep thriving.